Good Monday morning, my peeps. It's Adrienne Talks. And I loved the podcast last week talking about goals. I had a lot of people pop on that, they were looking at mid-year or starting a new year and not really sure about this goal setting, right? And where to start and what if they didn't hit it and what if they missed it and what if they fail and all of those things, right? We all have those insecurities when we're going to set a goal that we're just unsure. And who wants to be unsure? Nobody, right? So, we're going to talk a little bit about how to make yourself sure that you can hit these goals and make everyone see that having a goal it's not about all this worry and failure. It's about pushing yourself to be better, to get that thing that you've wanted, right? You can either sit there and complain where you're at, or you can try something new, right? I don't know if you saw my post, but my Friday funny was don't flush your hopes and dreams, right? Don't flush your hopes and dreams. If you have a dream, you've got to set the goal to reach it. And if you don't, isn't that still a failure? Like everybody's so worried about failing, but if you have something you really want and you refuse to set a goal because you think you're not going to reach it, isn't that still letting yourself off the hook? Like, I mean, I want you to try it because you know what? You could hit that goal. And then you're going to be inspired to do it again or do something better or bigger. And that's what's exciting about goals is when you hit them, you get to move forward and you get to keep moving forward. And even when you don't hit them, I promise you, like I said last week, you are going to see something that you would not have accomplished because you set that goal. So, what do you need to do, right? Like I gave you the list of buckets last week. I hope you got on and like I said, all you had to do was enter your email and you were going to get all the buckets that I look at in my major life areas. So, now what, right? What do you do? So, the first thing I want you to know is clarity creates confidence. So, when you're sitting there going, I don't know what I want to do. I have no idea. Well, of course, like it's so hard to go anywhere if you don't know what you want. So you've got to be clear on each of those goals, each of those buckets, right? So you take a goal and you've got in like, what are you going to do to achieve it? So that's what I'm going to help you with. So first is you've got to know how to break it down. Okay. And so many people are like, I don't know how to do this. And they don't ask for help. They just don't do it. Right. Because again, if you listen to my excuse podcast, it's easy to let yourself off the hook. So the first time I wanted to earn a trip with my business, my husband and I sat down and really figured it out what I needed to do to make it happen monthly. Could we have done that all the years before? Of course, but I was too afraid because when I looked at the entire goal, I felt that there was no way I could do that. I mean, it was just too much. It was too big. But then when I said, I really want this, it was an Alaskan cruise and we had always wanted to go on one. I was like, all right, let's sit down and break this down because he was in with me. So I want you to not wait until it's something so big you have to do it. I want you to do it now. Break it down now. Make it important now because I missed out on a lot of trips because of my fear, because I just didn't want to break it down and see what it would take. And so I really want you to think about that. If you need help, ask somebody to help you break it down, somebody who's achieved it before, somebody who will go with you. Any of those things, have them help you break it down. And then a lot of people are afraid of the work, right? Like they start breaking it down and they're like, I don't know. I don't know. This seems like a lot. Ugh. And that's an excuse, guys, right? They don't have to do it because they don't know how, right? I don't have to ask for help or I don't know. It seems like a lot, so I can't do this. And they just let it go. Well, that is the easiest way for us to not have to do anything. And I don't want you guys to not have to do anything. So if you really want something, break it down, know that it's going to be pushing your limits, but be excited about what it could do for you, like how it could help you, that you could get that end goal. Again, because if you listen to my podcast on excuses, the easiest way to let yourself off the hook is to not do anything. It's so easy. It's the perfect thing. And I, again, do not want you to flush your hopes and dreams because you're the only one that can make it happen. You're the only one that doesn't let yourself off the hook. So you need to set that goal and break it down, knowing that will there be some fear? Possibly. There absolutely could be. But You're the one that's going to push through it because of that end goal, that thing you really want. So that's what you have to do is think big, but then know why you want it and what you're going to feel when you get it. Because so many people skip this step. They're just like, oh, I just want to go on a trip. That's not going to get you through those days when it's so hard, right? When you have to do something you really are afraid of, or you're really worried about, or you look at your goal and you're kind of far away. You need to know why. Why do you want this? Like that trip, John and I had always wanted to go. We had little kids and I just wanted to get away, right? And I knew if I earned it, I could get someone to watch the kids and we could go have this amazing trip. I knew why I wanted, what I would feel, and I broke it down. And I had an accountability partner, my husband, who was sitting there going, you can do this, right? Even I had, the little tracker on the fridge, and my kids were even like, oh, there you go, mom, you got to fill in another one. You need to have that understanding that I knew that John and I would be on that trip and have time together and be able to enjoy a little kid free time, right? Like it was everything I was excited for. So you really have to know that feeling that you're going to have when you earn it so that you can really celebrate it. And when I was sitting there and I didn't want to make a phone call, I was like, wait, but I'm going on this trip. So I'm going to make that phone call, right? It's got to push you through those times when you're having doubt or you're scared or fear creeps in. So just be very, very clear, cut a picture out, do something where you can see why you want it, what you're going to feel. The other thing is you need to clarify each step. So in those different buckets, I'm going to give you a couple of examples in these next few steps, because I'm going to give you one that I had last year, which was kind of to spend a little bit more time with my spouse, right? Like John and I, we are running around with these kids all the time. And I know if you have kids, you understand, but even if you don't, like I look at my parents who are retired and they're always like, oh my gosh, we have so much going on, right? Who's not busy? My favorite word, right? Busy, busy, busy. We're all busy. So you have to be very clear of what you want. So I'm going to give you a personal and a business example in all of these. So like clarify each step. So if you want to have more time with your spouse, how are you going to do that? What does it look like? Right? What can you add to make this happen? And what are you going to stop doing to make that happen? Right? So you got to be clear on one or two things. Like, okay, I'm going to have a date night every month. Or every week or whatever it is. We're going to do that. I'm going to make time for that. So I might have to take time away from this, or I'm going to quit worrying about the fact that he didn't take the trash out or something like that. Right. And be happy that, I have him that night to have dinner with or whatever. Right. There's things we have to realize we're holding on to that we don't need and things that we want. Okay. So in every goal that you're setting, clarify each step. What do you want and what can you do to make it happen? Or what do you need to take away to make it happen? Right. With business, now, same example. Like, what are you going to do each month? Like, say you need X amount of sales, right? What are you going to add to make that happen? Are you going to add more client care, add more parties? Like, what are you going to do to make that happen? And then what will you take away? So like maybe you're tracking inventory daily. Well, that's not an income producing activity. You're cleaning your desk, not an income producing activity. Making graphics to post on social. You might get some interest, but that's not really an income producing activity. So you might need to take away some things. Maybe even, you need to take away Candy Crush or something like that, Facebook, whatever, to do more of the income producing activities. So do you see what I mean? As you're looking at each bucket and you say, this is what I want. Now, in order to get that feeling, that big why, right? Have more time with your spouse or to hit this big goal, you need to figure out what you're going to add to make it happen and what you might need to take away. Those are two very important parts of it. The other thing is, like we said, when you break it down, you need to break it down into milestones. Okay. So how will you know you're on track? Right. So you have this date night every week, or you spend this time without the kiddos, or you find a hobby that you both enjoy, right? Going back to spending more time with your spouse or whatever. Like I said, I could break this down for every bucket, finances, whatever. I'm just picking two. So you have to figure out, so how will I know like a quarter of the way that this is like that I'm on track? Because you need to know like, oh, yep, we did our date night every week, or, oh, we found this great hobby that we both enjoy, or, oh, we found this, time without kids maybe it starts at 15 minutes and then you take it to 30 and then you take it to an hour. You know what I mean? Like, how will you break down that milestone? Like, hey, we got 15 minutes every day without the kids. We found this thing, right? Or after they went to bed, we took this time, whatever it is, so that you can have like, hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting to where I want to be. Same with like your business, right? Have you sold what you wanted each month? So maybe the first quarter you hit those 3 months, you hit those goals. So now I know I'm on track because I'm at this amount of money at this time, right? I want you to break it down into milestones, because the only way you're going to know you're on track and you're going to know that you're excited and that you're doing the things you want to do is by breaking it down into these milestones that you're going to celebrate. Because celebration, like I talked about before, is a huge part that we miss. We totally miss the celebration side of hitting these little milestones to get to that big goal. We just wait for that big goal and then we hit it and we're like, yay. And then what? You're planning another goal. You need to have celebration marks along the way. So I want you to really, when you're breaking it down, how are you going to know? What are your milestones to know you're on track? And then you guys, you got to plan your calendar. Okay. I mean, it's just, you have to have a schedule. And if you don't schedule it and plan it, I bet you're going to keep coming up with this busy word. I was too busy. I was too busy. Right. I used to make fun of people who had to plan a date night. Just so you know, before we had kids, we had tons of date nights, right? Like John and I could go out anytime, whenever we wanted. Well, now that we have kids and sports and stuff, it's and we have two people that we also want in our lives and we want to take care of them and we want to spend time with them too, along with friends and everything else. We had to plan it. We had to plan it around their schedules and our schedule. So, you know what? I'm eating my words, guys. I totally am. And it's okay. I'm happy to do it because sometimes in life, we might have an ideal. Like I was like, why would you ever have to do that? You want to spend time with your spouse all the time. But I didn't know what life would be like later. I didn't know what it would be like when the kids were so busy and activities were happening. So you know what? I'm eating my words, guys. I was wrong. Okay. And I'm glad that I can do that because now us scheduling a date night, it's really working, right? I'm getting to have a night away from the kids, have time that's our own. So also don't be afraid to go, oh, now I get it, because you weren't at that point in life where you had to know, you had to do these things. So just wanted to throw that out there as a little side thing too, that like, hey, sometimes you're going to have to schedule things and it's okay. It doesn't mean that you can't find time for it. It means that you're making it a priority. It means that you are putting it on your schedule. Schedule it like a doctor's appointment, right? You schedule a doctor's appointment, you're going to be there. Do the same thing for yourself. So whether it's the date night or whether it's your income producing activities for work or your scheduled client care time or whatever those things were that you're going to add to make sure that you hit that goal, you got to schedule it in, because I promise you're going to say you're busy. I know it. I know it. We all do. Oh my gosh. I thought I would get that done today and I couldn't. I don't know if you remember my accountability podcast as well, where my accountability partner and I, we had to say for an hour, we're going to sit here and make sure we get these things done, because we'd get off the phone and we wouldn't do it. Right. You have to find a way to hold yourself accountable and get the things done. And it was for me by scheduling that hour time to sit there and get it done, not to go throughout my day and hope I get it done, but to actually plan the time to get it done. So you guys have clarified each step. You broke it down into milestones, right? And you planned your calendar. Okay. So you've done those three things, right? So you're done, right? All right. If I wish, but I know that fear is going to creep in. I know that life's going to creep in. I know that things are going to happen. So how will you keep going? So I'm going to give you just a couple suggestions. I'm not going to go really hard into detail, but I want you to know that it's okay. It's okay that fear is going to creep in. It's okay that you're going to get a little scared. This is normal. So don't be mean to yourself. Don't run away from your goal. Don't quit working towards it, because these things happen. If you realize you're short, like I said in the last one, I was short of my goal. Maybe you need to reevaluate. It's okay. It's okay. Take that weight off your shoulder. Take that pressure away. It is okay. So one thing I know a lot of people do is play your favorite song, your party song, right? Play your favorite party song. When you're sitting there and you're feeling, start playing it, get up, move around, get excited, and then take action. right? Because when you're in that place of energy and you take action, I promise you action always works. Make the phone call, do the thing, maybe reevaluate a little bit, set that time, put it on your calendar, whatever you have to do that you weren't doing. I just have always found when I play my favorite song, somehow you just get pumped, right? Mine's 90s rap. I don't know what yours is, but I'm telling you, just play your favorite song, get up, do it. Okay. Um, Another thing is, like I said, when you break down those milestones, please celebrate each step. And if you have to write down what you're going to do that. Because that's a lot of things people miss is like, oh, when I make this much, I'm going to, get a house cleaner. I'm going to go out to this nice restaurant I've always wanted to go to. I'm going to take my kids to this place. I'm going to buy that pair of shoes, whatever it is, but people don't do it. They hit the goal and they don't do it. So I want you to be very clear on that too. When you're setting these milestones, maybe give yourself that reward so you can celebrate it. So please make sure you're celebrating each step. And when this fear creeps in, some people need to journal, right? Write down what you think that you can, why you think you can't do it. And then look at all that and then write why you're going to do it in spite of all that. I don't even care, right? I see that. I see your fear. I see, like, I'm saying you say this to yourself. I care, but I'm saying I say to myself, like, okay, I see all this fear. I see these things why I think I can't, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care about these things that why I think I can't. I'm going to do it anyway. So how am I going to do it? Right? Sometimes getting your fears out on paper is the best way because all of a sudden you reread it and you're like, well, that's not true. I don't do that. Right. Or I'm not that way. So just that's another way that some people get through it. Grab a coach, you guys. Life coaches are amazing. If you find the person that can help you, man, I promise you, investing in yourself is an amazing thing. I've done it. I will keep doing it. I promise it will change your life because somebody outside looking in can see the things you're telling yourself that you don't realize you're telling yourself daily. Make a vision board. Like I said, make a very clear picture of what you're going to do when you achieve that goal and how you're going to feel and all of that. So maybe a picture in front of you is going to help you get through those moments. Okay. Write down your goal every day. So they say that writing down a goal, you are exponentially increasing the amount that you will hit that goal every time you write it down. So write it down 7 times a day. It like make it and make sure it's like, I achieved this, not I hope to, not I wish to. I want it to be, I achieved this goal by this date, right? Be very clear, write that goal every day. That also helps people get inspired. You get, yeah, I did that. I did that. It gives you that energy. Time block. You guys, like I said, make sure if you're getting off track, time block, find out why you can't do that time, why you're not holding yourself accountable, and maybe figure it out. Maybe you're doing it. Like I personally do not like the afternoons from like 1 to 3. I am sleepy and so I do the things that are easy. If I tried to schedule something hard during that time frame, I wouldn't do it. So I had to learn that about myself and time block appropriately. So maybe you've got your time blocked at a time that isn't good for you. So think about that too. And then finally, that goal tracker. You guys make your own goal tracker. If your company doesn't provide one of your sales each month or you're sponsoring each month or whatever it is, or your date night each month, like I said, personal and work, look at all those buckets of your life, but make a goal tracker because when other people are seeing it, your friends, the people in your house, whatever it is, people are cheering you on. They're encouraging you. They're looking at it with you. And when you have a visual and you can see you hitting those milestones, that also helps you to celebrate those milestones and do the thing, go get the massage, buy the pair of shoes. Like I said, all of those things. So those are some ways, like I said, play your party song, celebrate the steps, maybe journal, make a fear journal and show yourself you can do it out in spite of it. Grab a coach, make a vision board, write your goal every day, time block, make a goal tracker so it's very obvious where you're at. These are ways to get through those scary moments, those fear moments. So I would love for you this week to come to our Facebook community and share what you do, because I'm sure there's things not on this list. I just picked the top things that I know that work. But I would love to hear what works for you. Or if you're struggling to break something down, come there. Let us help you. That's what this is all about. It's a community of people who think and feel the same way. So, you guys, until next week, when Yo Adrienne talks, realize the power is within you.